So now is the time for the main theme. We will invite Ms. Elsie TSUI, the Project Director of the Hong Kong Social Enterprise Challenge, to introduce our theme this year. 有請香港社會企業挑戰賽項目總監徐元之女士為我哋介紹今年 Hong Kong SEC 嘅主題。
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I remember last 2 years, it's rained very heavily. So this morning, I was a little bit concerned. Are we going to have to bring a lot of umbrellas into this room? But luckily, I saw the sun, and I think it's a very auspicious sign. So we believe that it will be a very good year for Hong Kong SEC 2017. So before I share the main theme for this year, I would like to show you a couple of pictures. So do you want to take a guess? Who are these people? Refugees, right? So they are refugees from Syria. As you know, there are many, many refugees in continental Europe and also in the UK nowadays. And in the UK alone, there are over 100,000 refugees there. And many of them are actually really highly educated. However, they don't really have an opportunity to work there and also being accepted by the wider community. And these kids, actually, sometimes we do see these kind of children in Hong Kong. They could be very bright, but they're not very social. They don't have many friends. They don't know how to express themselves because they are those we call autistic people. 1 every 68 newborn babies is actually diagnosed with autistic disorder. Although they have many, many talents, however, only around 90% of autistic adults are either unemployed or underemployed. So we will see there are a lot of talents untapped among them. So what do we do about it? When we talk about social inclusion, the United Nations actually gave a definition that said individuals have the opportunity to be included or participate in economic, social, cultural, and even political aspects of life. And apparently, these people are left out in some of these areas. So is that really something we have to live with, or is there a solution? Luckily, there are some social innovators set up some social enterprises that can help them and solve the problems. So Chatterbox, right? Chatterbox is an online platform that's designed to employ the refugees at the online language tutor. They teach Arabic, Farsi, and thanks to the One Belt, One Road policy, these kind of languages are quite hot in Europe and some part of Asia these days. And this one, I don't try to pronounce it because it's in Danish, but it means the specialist. So this is actually a very famous company, and their slogan is passion for details. Why? Because autistic people are extremely good at concentrating on really minute detail. They don't mind to repeat, look at the same thing again and again and try to map out if there are any difference or pattern. For us, the so-called ordinary people, we find it really difficult and boring, but for them, they really enjoyed it. And this social enterprise turned their disadvantage into advantage of having them as the specialist, right, to check the computer bugs and software bugs and stuff like that. And these companies doing so well that they expanded to Australia, different parts of Europe, and even the US. Right? So what is interesting about these companies is that they all not only incorporate these people back into the economic life, but also give them a lot of empowerment or self-esteem. I remember I read a report on this company. One of the employees there, he said that, well, you know what? In the past, I couldn't imagine I actually walk out of my door and meet new people, and now I have a girlfriend. That's not something that I can imagine before. So you can see by including a lot of people we thought that is more marginalized, we actually give them a lot of new opportunities and also welcome them back into our lives. And this is actually an advantage as well because we also learn a lot from them. In Hong Kong, we also have different social enterprises that do something similar by bringing people who otherwise left out in mainstream economic activities back into our arms, pretty much. So iEnterprise, they employed people in wheelchairs to work in the call center. Microforest, they employ some women from low-income family to be some sort of artist, forest, right? So they run workshops, even teaching some really senior police officer. So, you know, these women feel very empowered in the process. And you probably have seen our staff from iBakery. Of course, these mentally challenged people could be trained to be really, really good waiter and bakers. And another one, 老正工作室. So many people believe that, well, when I get old, I couldn't be a model. Supermodel should be all like Angelababy, right? Should be very young and good looking. But actually not. This social enterprise specifically employs some, we call the young old, or even the old. That means they could be a very attractive model and selling stuff that really target at the silver hair economy. So as we can see, there are many, many ways to include our friends back into the mainstream activities. And that is what we call the social inclusion. And of course, these are the work integration social enterprises. There are many other ways to include and infuse people back into our lives. So one of the examples is the social career, which Matthew is going to talk about more. So we'll listen to him later. So our theme this year, Infusion, we encourage people to think about any more creative ways to include people from different walks of life, and then we can exchange the talents and resources and friendship. So Hong Kong SEC, you probably already heard from the MC, we are one of the longest standing startup competition focusing on social enterprise in Hong Kong. And then we open for all the institutions, tertiary institutions in Hong Kong. With the support from many of our friends, we have close to 7,000 people participated in the last decade in 44 institutions. So there are three main pillars. We have the education, competition, and the incubation. We focus more and more in the education and incubation parts. So for the education for this year, we will also have 2 rounds of main kind of capacity building activities. We have the social and innovation day camp, which employ the technique of design thinking to help them understand what is the social problem and then how to develop some innovative ideas. And then we also have the e-learning platform, which we done last year on Lean Startup, the entire Lean Startup approach. And then if they got to semi-final, 24 teams will receive one-on-one coaching from some expert teams working under KK. So really like learning from the master. And then we will also have other financial training, prototyping training, and also to help them improve the user experience in their app, something like that. So we have different kind of education activities to help them. For the competition, we have pretty delicious prizes. So we have 2 champions teams and 2 runner-ups teams that will be selected this year. The maximum award money for the champion team is 300,000 Hong Kong dollar. And for the runner-up team, 150,000 Hong Kong dollar, which is actually really good prizes. And there will be more interesting prizes, which we will tell you later. And what is more valuable is actually the opportunity to meet many of the experts, people from the business world, or even in the NGO sector, where they can learn. So we have mentoring program and also other capacity building program. So there are some of the nice photos there. So last year, we were really honored to have additional support from the Home Affairs Bureau to have, we call the SE support program. That means we look at the alumni for the last 10 years to see how are they doing. And then we provided more capacity building programs such as training and also coaching. So at the end, we do a demo pitch, and then we did have some industry experts and potential investors really admired that they have gone really far and really transformed their business. So last year, because it's the 10th anniversary, we have a really huge event, inauguration show, and some of these artists are actually from the social enterprise. So with, for example, people with hearing disability became artists. So, and very importantly, we also launched a book capturing the stories, the success stories of our Hong Kong SEC teams. And then I think we probably have already distributed out just a few copies left. So just in case you're really keen on, just let us know, and then we can give you a copy so you can understand a bit more. We also have a book launch, a very good event, good turnout by the media. And last year we have a very good media coverage of over 1.4 million. And very importantly, because we feature some of the winners, for example, Alchemist, they just had a prop-up store around the time that the news article was published. And then Kat, the founder, later told me that she suddenly have an influx of the business because of the news coverage. Let's look at some of the Hong Kong SEC winners. I have to say we're really, really proud of all of them, and just a few examples. So ATP Auto Art, very, very artistic products, right? So they actually upcycle the unused or scrap vehicle parts and turn it into an art piece and furniture. Right? They even sold it to the Singapore hotel, and they employ some marginalized worker to express their creativity in different ways. Empathy. So empathy is an elderly simulation program that really help people to understand how would you feel if you're 80 years old and trying to pick up boxes in the street to make a living, right? So this is actually a very promising kind of company or business, because as you know, the silver-haired economy is getting bigger and bigger, and they already secure some clients. For example, very large fast food company that employ to get their service and then try to make use of the insight they gather through this program to redesign some of their service protocol. And East Green, this is another very interesting one. As we all know, agriculture industry is something that's quite underdeveloped in Hong Kong, right? A lot of people have to pay hefty price for the organic products in City Super. However, actually, we can have our own capability to have a lot of organic products with the use of technology. So Easy Green has some technology on hydro farming and vertical farming, so that they not only can provide products for us, but also employed people, for example, with disability or mentally challenged to work in agriculture industry. So the winning teams of 2016. In the past, a lot of social enterprises are more, we call it the work integration social enterprises. That means that one of the key part of the business model is for them to provide job opportunity for the underprivileged. And nowadays, we also see different kinds of social enterprise. We call it social innovation social enterprise. That means that may not necessarily have the so-called the employment element, but equally interesting. IC mobile app, I will leave them to talk about their business later. Very briefly, is a mobile application designed to help the visually impaired to identify different kind of banknotes and also have other added features. So Haycons is a very interesting fintech social enterprise. They convert the physical coins, something that is really like underutilized in our home but take up a lot of space. On average, there are like 600 to 800 Hong Kong dollar coins sitting in our rooms. And then they can convert into digital currency and also make a donation at the same time. 上有高堂 Paytomator is an online platform that provides some advice and solution for elderly home care after they discharge from the hospital. And also the 街坊 tour empowers the local to promote their community through in-depth community tour. So there are different kind of social enterprise that could win in our competition, and we would like to see the more diversity of the business. So So our teams, again, they've done really well, not only locally, but also internationally. So many of the companies, for example, the 3 previous winners, ATB Auto Art, Alphavie, and also the Easy Green, they all got the government funding to expand further of their business. We also send them to join some international competition and IC mobile apps, just as Wincy just said. They got onto the top 15 in Asian-wide, very tough competition. So they are going to share with us a bit more. And another piece of good news is that because we have so long a history and then we have so many good stories to tell, we are really lucky that we can have some global partnership. So started last year, we worked with Ashoka, one of the leading social entrepreneurship kind of platform or organization. Now we are actually talking about junior fellowship program. Some of you that may be aware of Ashoka, you know that their fellows are really, wow, powerful people. For example, Muhammad Yunus. Right? So we are now talking about having a junior fellowship program of having some of their fellows to coach our winning teams. So that is something very exciting. Another exciting news is that we just got invited by the UNDP, the youth program, to join the Social Entrepreneurs Day in Bangkok in April. That day is actually very meaningful because that is the first UNDP Innovation and Creativity Day. So we really look forward to expanding the horizons for our team because we believe that for social business to be really robust, you not only have to think local, but you actually have to think global as well. So I would like just to show a video of them welcoming.
Hey, my name is Savi and I'm the Regional Youth Project Coordinator for UNDP Asia Pacific. So first of all, congratulations to all of you. I think you are the brilliant most and innovation minds in Hong Kong in one place, thinking about what you can do to make this world a better place. That itself is what we UN are aspiring to do with you all. Being a social entrepreneur, myself being an example, is not an easy journey. But now with your ideation, you are trying to embark in a journey that will make this planet a better place to live. We as the United Nations Development Program are enabling hands like you guys with the Sustainable Development Goal framework to create long-lasting solutions for the challenging problems in the planet. So we are looking forward to work with Hong Kong Social Enterprise Challenge with you all so that your ideas can be resonated with the other young people in the planet. So all the very best for your future activities and looking forward to see some of you in Bangkok or in the future activities that we are hosting. All the best. Shisheni.
Okay, so this is Savi. He would love to join. However, he is a little bit far away in Bangkok, and to be quite honest, being in sunny Bangkok is really hard to leave. But just a warm welcome to all of you, and also some encouragement for our participants. So. If you would like to know more about the Hong Kong staff, which, by the way, we revamped our website, please scan the QR code, and then you can find out more. Also, please also like our Facebook page, right? And then you will get connected and know more about our updates. Last but not least, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our wonderful sponsors. Of course, is the Home Affairs Bureau, right? And also all the other supporting organizations. Because of time, I do not have a time to really thank every one of you, but here, on behalf of Center for Entrepreneurship at the Chinese University of Hong Kong, we would like to show our deepest gratitude for your support and look forward to have your continued support in the future as well. Thank you.